Tell me about the tamed elephant.
The tamed elephant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's it's not my analogy. It's probably an analogy that's been out there for a while.
Yeah.
I just reference it because I remember reading it and I remember thinking that. So it was a personal experience that connected with an existing analogy, but the analogy is also real, And
Sure.
so
Yeah.
I say all that to say, Michael, he hates when I say that. I agree. I say it way too much. But when I used to go to a circus in Peoria, because they did come around, like Midwest circuses. I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know if anyone else has them throughout the nation, but like the Wizard of Oz, like when the circus comes to town, they did that in Peoria when I was growing up. So I remember seeing, the lions, the elephants, and all that. So I do remember seeing the elephant and it being tied to a stick and a little pin, and I remember as a kid and how massive an elephant is. I used to think that thing could just pull that rope, like the lion is in a cage. Why isn't the elephant in a cage? And so I remember thinking that thought, and so, I don't know if they still do that or if I, whatever, but, basically what I've read is that they used to train elephants when they're really young. And, they used to actually, I don't know if they whipped them or did something with pain to recognize if they ever tried to break free from the pin and the rope. And even if they tried, they couldn't because they're so little. Yeah. But they also use pain as a ways or a means for them to remember
condition them.
Yeah, it was full on conditioning. So when they got super massive and large as they, are supposed to be, they would not break free because they believed they were, enslaved to this, and so they just were stuck. But they were really just mentally stuck because we all know if you put a little rope on a full-grown elephant and a pin in the ground, it could just pull it out. I think that happened in Hawaii. I think there was a loose elephant.
His name was Tyke. Her name was Tyke.
Oh.
I read about it this morning.
Did you?
Yeah. So in 1994, I believe, I guess the circus came in town, and Tyke, this 21-year-old female elephant, for some reason attacked her caretaker and actually killed him and injured the groomer. And it was running around, I think it was Kaka'ako or something like that, running around Hawaii for 30 minutes until they eventually shot them 86 times.
Holy
Because they can't stop it. Like you said, they're massive creatures. Even for this female 21-year-old, they're massive creatures. But like you said, it's like, man, I don't know what got into it, or just decided I'm not gonna be.
Yeah, that sounds like humanity, man. We're just, we're all conditioned one way or another. We don't even realize it through movies, through notifications on phones, through I mean, there's just so many things visually happening that constantly condition us in 100%. Our system, the way it's operated and ran, the belief system we have that we're supposed to be born, go to school, go to college, get married, get a job. I mean, probably get a job, then get married, then have kids. White picket fence, American dream, and it's just all conditioning, man. Yeah. And it's just as systematic. Then you just grow old, you retire, and then you die. It's like we're trapped. We're like the elephant, man, and where we just been conditioned really young, and we just don't think outside of the box. We don't know there's something else. But then there's some of us that, I don't know if the third eye's open or they're woke or whatever the case is they see that they are trapped or they are enslaved, and then they see an opportunity, man, they're going to run, and then the system, they'll shoot you down. Because you're dangerous when you're at that kind of reaction point, right?
For sure.
But yeah, I get it, man.
Yeah. That's crazy because you can't condition someone to, do the normal things and whatnot for someone else's gain, and then you can also do it for the betterment of your family. So I say that because when I look at Zozo, condition. I guess you can think about different words, but conditioning for her, it's like, I don't want her to, if she falls down, she starts crying like crazy, or someone reacts to that, her falling down for something just little, and someone's like, oh, I'm like, don't do that. Like, don't get wild. Like, you're teaching her that this type of pain, this small, easy pain, you're making it seem huge to her, and I don't want that for her. It's just little things like that. Like, I understand that these things can change or birth the perspective of a situation, and so every time something happens to Zozo, I'm like, I tell my parents or whatever, don't react to things that shouldn't be reacted to, because when she grows up, I don't want her to be conditioned to cry every time a small, I don't know, when she gets flicked or something, rather than when she gets, actually hurt and is in real pain. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Parenting is so important, man. And if I were to give a shout out, it would be, to my mom. The encouragement, the love that she constantly poured into me, man. She was basically like whispering in my ear my whole life that you're a massive elephant, and this rope is not existent.
Hey, come on, man.
All my life, that's what she's told me. She's like, this rope has nothing on you. Nothing. It's just a rope. You are one of the biggest elephants I've ever seen. And so, she used to just pump that encouragement in me. I really believed I could conquer and do anything. There was no boundaries in my mind.
That's crazy, yo.
And she did it with love. She did it with God. She did it with, that kind of wisdom. So the boundaries that were set were obviously in, a godly arena, but also on the other side, that I could reach the stars. I could do anything I could do. So I think parenting is so important on how we approach and not get stuck, and, trusting all the information on how to do things too. Sometimes you just have to really just look and process versus trying to trust what everyone's out there trying to teach you. And because some of it could be systematic.
Right. There was a interview I seen of Kanye, and Kanye says like the craziest things, right? But you either love him or you hate him, or both, I guess. But there was one interview where he briefly mentioned, like, it was along the lines of something where he said, the difference is that I was taught I could do anything.
He had that mom.
He had that mom, man. He had that mom. So I'm thinking the same thing. I'm like, shoot, if you can be taught that you are an elephant in this room and you're the biggest thing and nothing's gonna hold you down from birth, and man, that's such a good applicable what do you call thing to teach your children, right?
Yeah. I think you never want to puff somebody up too much. That's another boundary and scary part of over encouragement. But but it definitely builds a confidence in us as babies growing up or kids growing up or humans that I think is healthy. I think it's healthy to know and be confident in stepping out in faith and stepping out to do things. But then the other side of it, where, my mom was there to pump encouragement into me. I still needed structure, which the military helped bring, thankfully, because I was a little wild before that. And, it helped kind of, settle me down a little bit, but, it's okay to chase after things. But then once I realized what my mom was really preparing me for was to chase God with that passion and confidence, not the things of the world. And so, but I had to find that on my own, and so, it's that is what connected for me, and that was what's healthy for me. And so now I'm that elephant that I'm not tied to any pin, and I'm chasing God with all my energy and efforts.